What's the saddest song you know? 4th of July by Sufjan Stevens. I'm someone who rarely cries. It just wasn't an okay thing to do growing up, so it stuck with me. That song makes me cry every single time without fail. I know the song is about a mum dying, but a pet bird I had which I loved with all my heart died, so I think of him when I hear that song. The line that gets me bawling like an actual baby every time is, "Did you get enough love, my little dove?" I'm not even listening to it right now, but I'm about to cry thinking about it. How Yoko Donyi by Moj Doji. The writer of this song was born blind. The title of song literally translates to "Sun, please don't rise." Here the singer is asking the sun to not rise as he can never imagine what it looks like. He can only feel the warmth of the sun. I could not see anything around him and feel sad about it. That although the world gets lively and plants thrives because of the sun, but he couldn't experience to see the light, and nothing changes in his life even if the sun rises. A couple of my own poems down, still not quite right in the head about things. But that's to be expected. I went pretty hard on alcohol for the last couple years, and I'm trying to find my old self again. The Best of Times by Dream Theater. It's about the death of drummer Mike Portnoy's father to cancer. He reminisces about their time together from childhood to college to adulthood, sharing bits of what they'd do together, and then came the call. Then switches to a sorrowful monologue about how his father was his greatest idol and support, thanking him for everything he's done. Most of all, thank you for my life. God, him tearing up writing this. Before You Go, Lewis Capaldi. It's about grieving the suicide of his aunt and wondering whether if he had done anything different or better, or if they talked to her more, they could have prevented it. Also, wish you the best, Lewis Capaldi. Especially if you watch the video with it. When she cries, Britt Nicole also helped me through a lot of stuff in my teen years. Breathe me a sigh. I will never not cry when I hear that song. Dance Me to the End of Love by Leonard Cohen. About the Theresienstadt concentration camp at the time of the Holocaust. Concentration camp musicians were forced to play during the executions, during beatings and rapes, not to provide some comfort to the victims but to add to the entertainment and excitement for the Nazis. Yet in true Cohen style, the song sounds like a melancholy song of love, not the horrors of the war. Ones for long-distance relationships make me sad, especially when he's away. They're not death kind of sad, but situational. Bruno Mars Long Distance. https u2. D Scottish 0. Sieves of June 9 5b. Ed Sheeran All of the Stars. Charlie Puth One Call Away, and said person is not in fact only one call away. Gone Away by The Offspring. The day my dad died, life was a bit of a blur for a few hours afterwards. Just extreme grief, sadness, feelings of being a failure, and completely overwhelmed. There was a point when we were driving home. The song came on, and it was the first time I really listened to the words that perfectly encapsulated how I felt. It's been nearly 4 years, and I still struggle with the song. Ian Tonji's cover of James Blunt's Monsters, Meshsnkov Channel American Idol, or even James Blunt's OG version of The Girl That Never Was Channel James Blunt. Come watch VLGG for KWVBRE of Channel James Blunt. The Scientist by Coldplay. That was the first song I listened after I found my dad when he took his life, when I was 15. It also was the first song I drew to when I did a memorial drawing for him the day after he passed. Father Son Cat Stevens. A song Dad and I would listen to. I listen to it even now when I feel like I need his support and guidance. Helps me feel less alone. Heartbeats by Hey Marseilles. It is a breakup song about people who really care about each other, but also realizing they aren't right and breaking up on amicable terms. Different than many breakup songs, but also reasonable for how many low-profile divorces breakups happen. It hits close to home because my marriage almost ended this way before we built back our relationship. Long Time by Linda Ronstadt. About unrequited love. Also, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. about the actual sinking of an old transport in a storm on Lake Superior with all 29 hands lost. Lightfoot donated his royalties from the song to the surviving families of the ship's crew. The song that has consistently made me cry the most is Basket by Dan Mangan. Songs about breakups or deaths, etc., are all too common. But something about this song exploring the negative effects of getting old from a first-person perspective is just so damn powerful and sad and unique and gets me every time. My sad song go-to is For the Best Straight Light Run, N folds 5. It's All Your Fault Ping. The freshman verve pipe. I shouldn't have to be the bigger person, Lauren Spencer Smith. Crying for Rain Minami. Loneliest Girl Carol and Tuesday, etc. Hey ya by Outcast ... I know it sounds happy and fun, but if you read the lyrics, you realize it's about being trapped in a loveless marriage. It's actually pretty depressing. Also, Right Where It Belongs by 9 Inch Nails made me sob uncontrollably for 10 minutes the first time I heard it. It's a song my dad used to sing to me when I was small. Goes like this: I am a poor little beggar, mummy, she is dead. My daddy is a drunken man who wouldn't give me any bread. So I sit by my window and hear the organs play, while I think of my mummy who is far, far away. Lyrically, there's one that absolutely shatters me every time, but nobody hears it that way. Hey ya by Outcast. If what they say is nothing is forever, then what makes love the exception? You don't wanna hear me, you just wanna dance. Tea and Toast by Lucy Spraggan. I also can't listen to Live Like You Were Dying, but that's just because it reminds me of when my grandma was ill. She spent 6 years suffering while she was dying, and the song just never sat right with me after seeing that. About Today by The National. I was going through a very hard time with my wife 12 years ago, like divorce level, and wanted more than anything for things to be good. Driving in my work truck, and this song came on. Not gonna lie, I was full waterworks. HTTPS U2. Used to listen to it so much after the breakup with the person I loved the most in my life, and all the crap kept on coming. I needed STH to sing my emotions for me, and this one was perfect back then. Steve Sniffy Sertsi Naporad. It's a song from a Czech rapper, and it's about how his girlfriend killed herself. It's described pretty to detail, both her suicide and his suffering afterwards. I can't listen to it without crying. Sex Tape by Deftones. My best friend who passed away almost a year ago loved Deftones, and would constantly play that song. It's already a pretty sad song, but I can barely listen to it now, because it just makes me think of him. The River Bruce Springsteen. Particularly this line. Is a dream a lie if it don't come true, or is it something worse? Radiohead's No Surprises. I think it relates a lot to how I feel as of late. The melody is so soothing but somber, it gives the feeling of you wanna just ignore the problems in your life, but it's always gonna be there. Song to Say Goodbye by Placebo. It feels ... too personal to me. The lyrics, the tone, the pace of the song, literally everything about it. I can't even watch the music video without it turning into a crying session. Adagio for Strings Barber. If I Die Young the Band Perry. Even for You Alan Silvestri. Leningrad Billy Joel. In the Arms of the Angel Sarah McLachlan are my top 5 in no particular order. So You Are Tied Sufjan Stevens. I found this song soon after a breakup and man it wrecked me. But it was perfect for the loss I was feeling at the time. Still makes me tear up to listen to it. Push Your Head Towards the Air by Editors. Fly Like an Eagle by Stereophonics. Home by Foo Fighters. If I Get High by Nothing But Thieves. Out to Get You by James. Perfect by Alanis Morissette. Vincent by Don McLean. Simultaneously, it's one of the most beautiful songs I'll ever hear. Can't listen to it without tearing up. Hits even harder if you've seen that episode of Doctor Who. How Could You Leave Us by an F. Kevin by Macklemore. Deathbed by Pofu and Beabadoobie. Hurt by Johnny Cash. Bullet by Hollywood Undead. The music sounds cheery, but the lyrics are very dark. Little Talks, of monsters and men. It's a woman who lost her husband best friend, and he is encouraging her to move on in her life, reminding them that they will be together again someday. I can't make you love me if you've been there. You feel every word of that song and it's excruciating. Such a sad, beautiful song. Teddy Swin's cover of it brings me to tears every time. Johnny Cash's Hurt is the #1 for me. Breaks my heart. But seeing as someone has already mentioned it, I will also say, And So It Goes by Billy Joel. Such a beautiful song. That's the Way It Is by Daniel Lanois. It's sad for me personally as it was the song I chose for my father's funeral. But it's also just a beautiful sad song in its own right. Good Feeling by the Violent Femmes. Good feeling. Won't you stay with me just a little longer? It always seems like you're leaving when I need you here. Just a little longer. It's a Tie. I Am a Rock by Simon Garfunkel. An Operator by Jim Croce. Each has a main character that's been hurt and is trying and failing to convince himself he's okay. Mary Jane by Alanis Morissette, or Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. I generally skip the sad songs I know. I rarely listen to music when I'm depressed. Let You Down by Doid Pod Sidlow, aka the sad song from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. The music video especially is depressing AF. Ed Sheeran's Supermarket Flowers hits real hard after losing a relative to Alzheimer's. Even some of the more specific sounding lyrics hit pretty close to home. Nothing compares to You Sinead O'Connor. I'd just broken up with someone I adored. Hearing the song takes me right back to 22-year-old heartbroken, or so I thought me.